Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, 2-run shot to right.
We welcome you to just outside of Hopkins Road here in Haddonfield, no more than 4 minutes from Dan Wilkins Broadcasting headquarters, as we've got an Olympic Conference matchup between the Seneca Golden Eagles and the Paul VI Eagles. Yes, it's going to be a tongue twister kind of day. Eagles versus Golden Eagles. PVI and Seneca are two teams that are looking to find their footing in 2025. Seneca may be just the most underappreciated program in South Jersey from recent years, with back-to-back sectional championships in 1 year where they were the 8th seed, and in 2024 where they were the 1 seed in South Jersey Group 2. But with Coach Greg Sevening at the helm, they've got Vaughn Worthing on the hill today. Meanwhile, for PVI, they've got Division I talent taking the hill. The right-hander Tyler Rogers, who's committed to Charleston Southern, which has Brett Young, a South Jersey connection, hence why he may be getting recruited there. But both of these teams just have 2 wins on the year. Seneca 2-7 and PVI 2-5. And the last time that these two played back in April of last year, well, guess what? Seneca took an 11-1 Mercy Rule win at PVI. But this is one of the funkiest fields in South Jersey. With 315 feet to center field, it's by far the shortest center field distance in South Jersey. Even counteracted with a 25-foot fence in center field, we've seen our fair share of long balls here, just like we saw with Julius Rosado last night over in Trenton. But it's going to be a good lineup. And in fact, the matchup may even get more equal with PVI losing Mason Myers for the week, the commit to Coastal Carolina. So things will be interesting. Seneca is ready to go on the road, and they're going to be bringing Vaughn Worthing and their best to the hill. Meanwhile, for Paul VI, they are down one of their best men, which could just make this matchup even more special. Both of these teams just trying to get ahead in a crowded Olympic conference and in a weird season, even in a season where Lenape is 3-9. Cherokee's 10-0. Eastern just picked up one of their first losses of the season. So it's a weird year. But it's a weird year for us as well. If you're unaware, this is our 499th broadcast on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Our 500th, as it seems right now, will be Gateway and Pittman at 6 o'clock tomorrow night over in the Joe Lang tournament. So we're going to be under the lights for the most special one, but guess what? Right now, we are under the sun. 81 degrees at first pitch today, as it's going to be a wildly good matchup between the Seneca Golden Eagles and the PVI Eagles. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by David Cohen on the call today. We'll be right back in just a moment with starting lineups and first pitch here from Haddonfield. We'll be right back. Tyler Rogers is the right-hander for PVI this afternoon. As we mentioned earlier in the Open, he's committed to Charleston Southern University down in South Carolina, and he'll be backed up by a great defense for PVI this season as they come into this one 2-5. Let's introduce the Seneca Golden Eagles, back-to-back South Jersey Group 2 sectional champions, led by head coach Greg Sevening. It's Nate Park at third base leading us off. Vaughn Worthing is the pitcher batting second. Alex Argabright is at first base batting third. Kyle Trezakawa is the shortstop batting fourth. Lester Hahn is the second baseman in the 5 spot. Braden Olson, the DH. Bryce Gordon in left field. Brett Steinauer in right. And Jake Bauer is the center fielder, rounding out the order. Tyler Rogers with a front row seat here just off of Hopkins Road on a Thursday afternoon. First pitch is down, 1-0. For broadcast number 499 for us over here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Strike called on the lower half of the plate, 1-1. Alessio Andolfi backing up Rogers behind the dish this afternoon. Seneca coming into this one 2-7, PVI at 2-5. Hit out toward shallow right field. This one's playable, and it is taken in by Will Howell, the transfer from Holy Cross, for the first out of the ball game. Rogers with a 5 flat ERA this season, a little bit uncharacteristic for him considering his career mark is 3.16. 19 strikeouts, 67 in his career in 14 innings this season. 10 walks, 10 earned runs. This is his 5th appearance, all versus Olympic opponents. There's a hot shot into right field for a base hit. That will trickle past the second baseman, Lero. And Vaughn Worthing, the pitcher, helps his own cause with a 1-out single.
Good piece of hitting there from Worthing right through the right side of the field. First pitch swinging, gotta love it.
Yeah, can't get much better than that if you're Worthing. You know, you want to get on the hill, you want to get out there, but at the same time, you've got to bat before you pitch. And you know, at this point in the ball game, 1 out early, stakes are a little bit lower. Find a way to get the ball down and put the ball in play. Down and away from Rogers to Alex Argabright, a big part of the 2024 and 2023 Seneca teams that won the won the sectional championships. Seneca started out the season 0-5 with losses to Eastern, Haddonfield, Morristown, a red-hot Northern Burlington, and RV. Their 2 wins this year have both been in the Olympic National over Winslow and Camden Catholic. So they've been 2-7, but more respectably 2-2 in their last 4 games. They travel to Delran on Saturday to be a part of the Papa Bear tournament. They play Ewing at 10 a.m., a Colonial Valley opponent. And then they'll be home to Cherry Hill West on Monday the 28th. A Cherry Hill West team that has also gone through their ebbs and flows this season. That one's fouled back. 1-2. I went to read the scoreboard behind the plate. They don't have that turned on for today, so. Rogers working with a runner on first. And 1 down for the future Buccaneer. That one is hit well, but foul down the left field line. Got some good distance to it. Made a good barrel, but just barely kept it foul. Count should be 1-2 with 1 away. Runner on first after the base hit by Vaughn Worthing. And the pitch. Down. Trezakawa, the shortstop, will be on deck for the Golden Eagles. And there's a swing and a miss. Argabright chases it a fastball away. And Rogers picks up his first strikeout of the afternoon. So Seneca brings their 4th man to the plate here in the top half of the first. First 3 for PVI in the bottom half will be Gabe Lero, Cole Martine, the left fielder, and Nick Shear. Manning the hot corner today for PVI. Strike called. Some great velocity here from Tyler Rogers to start mixing it up. Hammering the fastball, but hammering it where it matters most. He's mostly been controlling and commanding the lower part of the zone, and for the first rotation of hitters for Seneca, that might be a bit of a problem for them if they can't hit that. Changeup beautifully dots the center.
Yes, pitch mix as well. Fastball shooting the knees, corners.
As I like to call it, he's cornering the head, shoulders, knees, and toes. No balls, 2 strikes. Seneca with a runner on first. Rogers looks over. Andolfi sets, and that one's high. Fakes a back pick, and it's 1-2. Trazakawa, the senior, a career .254 hitter, hit his first career home run back on the 17th versus Cherry Hill East. 33 career hits. He's 6 for 27 this year with a .222 mark. His best was 2023. He did not play in the 2024 season, but in 2023 as a sophomore, hit .278, .306 slugging. And with 8 career extra base hits, 7 doubles, 1 homer. Curveball misses inside. Throw down to second, will not be in time. And a swiped bag for Vaughn Worthing puts the Golden Eagles in scoring position. 2 outs and a full count to the batter, Trazakawa. On deck will be the second baseman, Lester Hahn. But the 3-2 is a swing and a miss. He got him. Tyler Rogers picks up 2 strikeouts and leaves a man stranded at second base. He's greeted by the assistant Nick Gruber as Gabe Laro will start the fireworks for PVI in the bottom half of the first. We're scoreless after a half frame. PVI holds Seneca scoreless in the top half of the first with 2 strikeouts by the Charleston Southern commit, Tyler Rogers. Let's introduce DM Phillips and the PVI starting order, brought to you by Harper Driving School. Gabe Laro is the leadoff man, manning second base today. Cole Martin is in left field, batting second. Nick Shear is at third in the 3 spot. Dom DiGianniello Gallianardo is batting cleanup at the first base spot. Keegan McGravy is the shortstop batting fifth. Anthony Ungaro, the commit to Stockton, is in center field. Alicio Andolfi is the catcher batting seventh. Will Howell, the transfer from Holy Cross, is the right fielder in the eighth spot. Tyler Rogers rounds us out in the 9-hole. No score after a half frame, and here is Lero facing the right-hander Vaughn Worthing. First pitch misses downstairs. 1-0. Worthing, small sample size, but is looking to get his ERA down in this start. 5 innings and a 9.8 ERA. 8 walks, 9 strikeouts as that one hits the top of the net. Makes it 1-1. This is his third appearance of the year, just like with Tyler Rogers, all against Olympic opponents. A 10-0 loss to Eastern on March 31st, where he threw 65 pitches and then threw 78 across 3 innings, and an 8-4 loss to the Red Devils of Rancocas Valley 9 days later. Oh, that one did not feel good. Looks like it got him in the kneecap, and that'll be a leadoff hit by pitch for Lero, as that'll bring up Martin. Sometimes this first inning is where things can be a bit of a wild card, you know. Fastballs can get away, and things can be a little bit of more of a question mark. But I think as the first inning, you know, comes and goes, I think both of these pitchers will start to figure out their stuff a little bit more. Rogers seems to be dialed in already, though. 2 strikeouts, left a runner on, has kept the ball, you know, in pretty close quarters in the early going. So here's Martin, occupying the back half of the back half of the box as the second lefty to hit in a row. Throw to first, not in time. Martin, the junior. Runner will go. Throw from his knees will one hop, and it's not in time. He's unable to get that one down. Martin hitting 200 this year, 3 for 15. 5 walks and 2 stolen bases. A bunt, pulls back. That'll make it a 2-0 count. Little dribbler up the first base side. It'll go foul. First baseman tagged him out for good measure, but they will bring him back to the box, 2-1. I don't know if Shear realized immediately that was a foul ball because he was standing in the batter's box. I'm like, we're going to have a double trouble here. Strike called on the outside corner, 2-2. Runner already in scoring position for PVI with nobody out. Now working with a 2-2 count for Worthing. Looks back at second a couple times, kicks and delivers. That is down. Last time we were at PVI, it was a game that PVI will want to remember and the opponent will want to forget. We were at the Pingree and PVI playoff game back in June of last year. A game that PVI won 13-4, highlighted by an 11-run 6th inning, and it was possibly the most chirpy and downright I wouldn't call it the worst game, but it was the game that from one side definitely had the worst sportsmanship. I was very surprised by how nasty that game got at the end when PVI scored 11 runs. Got a 3-2 breaking ball and chipped it foul. Again, Shear on deck. Runner on second. A leadoff hit by pitch by Lero. He advanced to second on a stolen base. Throw back to second. Not in time. Close call down there, though. Three balls, two strikes. And the pitch fouled back. That bat's just going to get a little bit longer. This will be pitch number 8 of the at-bat. Against Martine, the left fielder. Worthing, 3-2, is low. Martine works it out perfectly, and a 8-pitch at-bat ends in a walk for Nick Shear. A notable player who is on the roster but not in the lineup today is Sean Taylor. He's the one who hit the grand slam in the bottom of the 6th inning in that Pingree PVI playoff game from last year. But Shear was the one who started the rally off of then Ryder commit. Can't remember his name, but he was the left-hander from Pingree. And it's 0-1. Two on, nobody out. Swings at a fastball upstairs. I like that from Worthing there. I mean, the fastball upstairs can be a bit of a gamble, but if you have the confidence of where that ball is going to go, then go for it. It's not for everybody, not for every pitcher. Here's the 0-2. Outside that time. You got to imagine after a leadoff hit by pitch and then a 9-pitch at-bat, still time to settle things down here in the bottom half. As Dom DiGialinero will be next. Curveball skips in, 2-2. I mean, the pitch selection has been there, but his command has definitely been a little bit off.
Yeah, I think if he gets an out here, maybe it helps, but you definitely got to get out. You can't have bases loaded, nobody out.
Not a good situation for anybody. Popped up, back behind us, over towards the football field. That'll drop out of play. Still 2-2. And the more foul balls PVI hits, the higher that pitch count will get, and the more strenuous it will be on not just Worthing, but also on Seneca's bullpen going forward.
Yeah, Seneca's limited. They got 2 games Saturday to play in the Papa Bear tournament over in Delran.
And not to mention Monday.
Yeah.
Ooh, outside, 3-2.
And they have already played 2 games this week.
So a heavy workload, especially with some of the rain that came in 2 weeks ago. Now everything that was pushed back is now hitting us, basically. 3 balls, 2 strikes. To the third baseman, Shear lines this one out to right center field. It will be caught. Runner from second will tag. Runner from first holds. And they do get the out, but runners are on the corners for DeGallianardo. Definitely a good step in the right direction for Worthing to get the out there. You know, wasn't the prettiest at bat, but he got the full count. And now they'll step back into the boxes. DeGallianardo will step in here. 1 out, 2 runners on for the Eagles. PVI wants a balk. They tried to pull off the steal and score. Runners coming home. Ball pops out of the glove. Don't think the balk's going to matter anyway because the runner came in to score, but PVI leads it 1-0. DM Phillips definitely wanted a balk called there. Didn't get it. And the runner comes in on the old-fashioned move to steal and score. Lero comes in. Martine holds it. Well, actually, he does move up from first to second, but now DeGallianardo has a runner in scoring position here with 1 away after that move to get on the board tonight or this afternoon. First pitch. That's a hot shot out towards short. It gets booted by Trzakowski, or Trzakawa, excuse me. And that will be an E6 that puts the runners on the corners with still one out for Keegan McGravy.
That was great base running by Martine. He got in the vision of Trosofka at shortstop, and I think that made the error, allowing him to get the third.
Oh, yeah, he basically jumped over the ball. And when you're, as a shortstop, when your line of sight is blocked like that, makes for a tough situation for you to make that play cleanly. And that he did not. High and away. 1 ball, no strikes to Keegan McGravy. 5'8" senior for the Eagles. 267 career hitter, 23 for 86, 5 extra base hits. This year, 4 for 19 in the early going. As we're about a month into the season. I mean, it's hard to believe that tomorrow will be 1 month since our opening day with Millville and Pittman. And we had a lot of cold days in early April, had a lot of rainouts, and now we've got, well, very fair weather baseball. Swing and a miss. Runner does go down to second. Another throw from his knees. They're going to try another steal and score. He is safe. Scoring is Martine, and PVI ringing around the rosy as they score 2 on back-to-back stolen bags. Well, not back-to-back, but still same inning. Makes that 2-0 as DeGallianardo moves to second base. McGravy now looks like working with a 2-1 count. Oh, 2 balls, no strikes, excuse me. McGravy, the shortstop, runner at second, 2-0 Eagles. There's another grounder to Trezakawa. They'll throw to the lead runner at third. Did he get under the tag? I believe they're saying he did get under the tag. I think in that situation, I think you just got to throw to first. I think that's too close of a play to throw to third. They're going to have a quick mound visit here with the infield. Technically, that'll be scored as a fielder's choice, 6-5. But the runner was safe. Gets DeGallianardo to third, McGravy to first, and 4 of the first 5 for PVI have reached. And funny enough, no hits. That play doesn't get considered a hit because it's a fielder's choice. Now, when we're talking about like game changers and stuff, do the people who run Game Changer at the high school level, have they read all 1,500 pages of the rule book in terms of how things are scored? No. So probably in the home score book, that gets called a hit. We'll check on NJ.com later tonight, but technically that should be a 6-5 fielder's choice. Swing and a miss by the 6-hitter Anthony Ungaro, the commit to Stockton as the right-hander. Pitched just a couple of days ago, so ineligible to pitch today for PVI. Throw to first, not in time. Yeah, I think people don't, or maybe people either don't realize or just don't know that you can record a fielder's choice without recording an out. Some funny banter from the PVI dugout. Hey, you got a batter up there. After back-to-back pickoff moves by Worthing. From the stretch, lined right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Ungaro gets it down, and it's going to roll off the wall in right center. DeGallianardo scores. Green light from DM Phillips. Stopping there. Throw gets airmailed, and that will be a 2-run double for Anthony Ungaro. A 4-run first inning. And PVI has broken this game open with their first official hit of the game, 4-0. And that doesn't help your case really any there. Scoring McGravy and DeGallianardo, 2-run double. And just makes that road a little bit tougher for Seneca here. As Worthing getting hit hard here. First pitch, it continues into center field. First pitch for Andolfi. He'll get the stop sign at third. And the hitting continues with PVI's 7th batter. This brings up Will Howell. Back-to-back hits. Again, now a pitcher and catcher meeting. They will run for the catcher at first. Can't tell the number over there. Looks like maybe number 10. 48. That's Trent Ferrara. So here's Howell, the right fielder, in the 8th spot, the transfer from Holy Cross. So from one non-public to another, and from Burlington County down to Camden County. Strike called on the outside half of the plate, and it's 0-1. Howell, the 6'2" sophomore, in just his 3rd varsity at-bat with PVI. Batted right around the 250 mark for Holy Cross in 2024 under first-year head coach Zach Ford. They've been off to a bumpy start this year, but trying to get again back on their feet in the BCSL Freedom Division. As the 1-1, infield moving way in with the runner on. Usually those second and shortstops would be on the edge of the infield dirt, but instead Trazacao is a couple steps in on the infield dirt, trying to get the best play possible here with the runner on. 3-1 now. Best situation, though, here for Seneca is a ground ball from Howell. You're at your 8-hitter, your 9-hitter is next with Tyler Rogers, the pitcher. Best thing that they can do is get a ground ball. As long as it doesn't go into the outfield, they can get that runner at home, or they can at least hold the runner. Best case scenario. Strike call to Howell. Because the last thing you want in this situation is to have the bases loaded with 1 out. Yes, you can turn a double play, but down by 4, you don't want to get into the trickery part of the game. You just want to have pure fundamentals that get outs. Fouled back off the top of the net. Like we said, we are well in the splash zone this afternoon, being right here behind the dish at PVI High School. Right down the road from DWB headquarters. 80 degrees at first pitch today. Wind blowing south to southwest. In layman's terms, out to right center field at 11 miles an hour. There's a swing and a miss. Worthing picks up the K. That's the second out of the first, and the first K for the right-hander. And now here's Rogers. Well, if you're PVI, you got to feel good here. Even if you don't do anything more in this inning. 4 runs, 9 batters come to the plate, and you've seen Worthing with every man at the dish. That one's outside. And even if Worthing is out for a couple more innings, you have to imagine the second time around might be even better for PVI than the first time.
Yeah, they put up a 4 spot already in the first inning. Say this inning ends here, you have the top of the lineup coming right back up, and you have your ace on the mound in Tyler Rogers.
Right. The Division I commit. Like we said, Brett Young has some connections in South Jersey. He's been recruiting down here for a while. It was a time where Audubon pitcher Sean Driscoll was committed there after JUCO at CCBC Catonsville. That one's outside. And then he, when Brett Young left Charleston Southern to go to Barry University, the Division II in Coral Gables, Florida. A lot of the Charleston Southern talent moved there, but at the moment, Tyler Rogers still staying with it in South Carolina. There's a swing and a miss. Worthing claps back in a big way with back-to-back Ks at the bottom of the order, but PVI definitely puts their name on the map with a 4-run first, including a 2 RBI double by the center fielder Anthony Ungaro. We're through 1 here on Hopkins. It's 4-0 Eagles. here at PVI High School. Eagles put up a 4 spot in the in the bottom half of the first. Seneca will look to replicate that in the top half versus the right-hander Tyler Rogers. It's a windy day in the hitter's favor. Here at PVI, one of the most unique fields in South Jersey. Temporary fence from the left field foul pole out to left center field. Almost a middle point. There's a swing and a miss. And then a tall temporary fence starting at 15 feet going up to 25. Goes from left center all the way to the right field foul pole. The right field fence dips down to a respectable 8 feet, but from deep left center to deep right center to counteract the 315-foot center field, instead of chopping down some trees, don't want to tick off the Lorax. They instead kept the field as it was and decided to build this tall batter's eye, basically, behind the fence to make sure that, well, it's not a hitter's paradise. I've always thought Woodstown would eventually do that. They are only 327 to center, and it's only 4 feet, or it's 4 or 5 feet. Standard, oh, hold on here. He'll have to throw him down at first, and they do. First out. Third K for Rogers, as Lester Hahn is retired. But yeah, Woodstown is one of those parks. Woodstown is basically what would happen if PVI didn't build that giant fence in center field. And that's where you get although at the same time, though, it ends up turning into a wind tunnel down there because of the fields in Salem County. So it kind of balances itself out. It's a short ballpark, but all of the home runs get taken back because of the wind. Here's Olson. Hahn, Olson, and Gordon, 5, 6, and 7. A single by Worthing opened up the hitting for Seneca. He was stranded on second base. Again, both of these teams coming into this game with 2 wins on the season. Seneca 2 and 7, PVI 2 and 5. PVI was very highly regarded going into the season. Mason Myers having an early injury hampered that. And just in general, how crowded the Olympic Conference has been. You know, we thought that maybe PVI would be the leader of the National, but instead Cherokee and Lenape in the American have, or excuse me, Cherokee and Eastern in the American have really turned things on its head. I mean, just looking at the Olympic standings going into today in the in the Olympic American, Cherokee's 10-0, Eastern is 10-1, and then next up is 5-4, Shawnee. RV is 6-6, East is 4-4, and then Lenape, also thought to be a big contender this year, is down to 3-9. Now, the Olympic did consolidate into 2 divisions this year, as that one is down for ball 4 to Braden Olson. This will bring up Gordon, the left fielder. Last season in 2024, there was the American, the National, and the Patriot, which had between 5 and 6 teams. But a couple of teams did drop out of the Olympic for baseball. Camden is not fielding a team this year. CCTS became an independent, and Penn Tech became a BCSL member, which is what they are for most sports. I believe they are BCSL for basketball. You couldn't tell me why, or I couldn't ask why they're Olympic for baseball, but now they have dropped out of that, and now you have 6 teams in the American and 7 in the National to make up a 13-team league. And at the moment in the National, Bishop Eustace is leading with a 7-2 record, but then there's only 2 teams out of the 7 in the division that are over 500. The other one is Cherry Hill West. They're 6-4. But you don't go by overall standings, as you know. You go by divisional standings. That's a base hit in the left center field by Gordon. Oh, Martin has trouble with it, but the runner thinks wisely and backpedals to second. Base hit for Gordon, bringing up Brady Steinhauer here. Or Brett Steinhauer, excuse me. 2 on, 1 out. But as we were mentioning, you know, you go by divisional standings. Even though Cherry Hill West is the other team over 500, they are technically 5th of 7 in the division, as they've only played 2 divisional games. Morristown is also over 500 at 4-3. PVI 2-5, Seneca 2-7. Winslow at 3-3, and Camden Catholic at 2-7 on the season, which we are about a month into at this point. 1 month in, one to go, basically. First pitch, hitting it hard, bobbled, Shear falls down. A calamity corner over at third base as Steinauer hit it to him. Not only did he bobble the ball, he bobbled himself, and the bases are loaded for Seneca for Jake Bauer. 1 out, bases loaded as Rogers working through a rough patch here in the second. Oh, that one almost hit him. I saw that baseball right there. I thought that was going to hit him, but you heard my reaction. I oversold it a little bit. My angle is messed up a little bit back here.
A little chin music.
Yeah, that's true chin music there. Oh, back pick to first, not in time. 1-1. I mean, hey, I get a little excited around here. It happens. 1 ball, 1 strike to the 9-hitter, Jake Bauer. He'll be followed by Parr, the third baseman. Strike called there. I think this is what happens when Seneca's not afraid to hit the ball. I mean, that last play that ended up being an E5 was because they hit it on the first pitch. Caught the fielders off guard, got them in a good motion, and now that's where they're going. That one's outside. The backstop, which creates a very interesting ricochet with the bricks behind the dish here. Just like they do at Citizens Bank Park, except Citizens Bank Park has a obviously larger backstop. But it's the same thing at, I think it's Burlington Township with those bricks. There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4, and the second out turns the lineup card over to Parr. And I'll tell you, this will be a big missed opportunity if Seneca doesn't score with the bases loaded, especially after all they've done to get to this point. Parr flew out to right his first time. Nate Park, the third baseman, .346 hitter this year. 9 for 26, just 1 RBI though. Outside, that one skips way up. The net brings it in, or at least holds it in the ballpark. .346 hitter, a .313 career hitter with 6 career extra base hits. Last year batted .330, 29 for 88 with 17 RBIs. Rogers working with a 1-0 count. The pitch to Park. That's lined out towards right field, but it'll be straight away, and it's caught to retire the side. A huge break for Tyler Rogers, who leaves the bases loaded and strikes out 2. Seneca gets a hit back and also takes advantage of an error, but unfortunately they do not get on the scoreboard. We go to the bottom half of the second. PVI looks to pick up where they left off with a 4-0 lead. Here at PVI, it's 4-0. A big break for Tyler Rogers, as with 2 strikeouts in the second, 4 total today. Picks up a big break with a flyout to right by Nate Park to end the inning. PVI batted 9 in the bottom half of the first versus Worthing, who remains in the game for the second. Laro was hit by a pitch and then came around to score. If you missed it in the bottom of the first run and the second run both came in on the old-fashioned steal and score. Swing and a miss there, 1-1. Then after that, a 2-run double by Ungaro brought in the third and fourth runs, and Dolphy followed with a single, but Worthing ended the offensive barrage with back-to-back Ks to end the inning. Strike called, 1-2. So back to the top now, it's Laro, Martine, and Shear, 1, 2, and 3 for PVI in the bottom half of the first. Worthing is set, kicks and delivers. Lined, foul. Looked like that would have been a good cue shot down the line, but instead trails foul past the third base bag. Don't forget, folks, you're watching coverage of Olympic Conference Baseball here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We also have a Venmo at at DW Broadcasting. No spaces, no hyphens. Not being paid for this game today, as most of our high school games go. This is mostly for exposure and to get these kids a good platform for recruiting and game film, whatnot. But any contributions are greatly appreciated. I'm a 19-year-old college freshman at Rowan College of South Jersey, and everything goes towards taking care of those financial aid bills. As that's a swing and a miss. Laro down on strikes for the first out of the second. Here's Martine. Also, if you're a small business owner interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, we do commercial filming. All the commercials you see today on the broadcast are filmed and edited, recorded, and produced by our wonderful crew. And Martine's going to get hit to bring up Shear. But commercials that we offer here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting are all affordable packages that bring your business to the limelight in front of over 100,000 viewers annually on YouTube, plus our 6,000 plus annual followers on social media, including Instagram and Twitter/X and Facebook. Again, you can drop me a line with an advertising inquiry at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. That's in the description of this YouTube video if you want to get your name in the advertising game in South Jersey. After the hit-by pitch to Martine, here is Shear. Fouled straight back, 0-1. D.G. Leonardo is going to be next, as Shear flew out to right, was the first out of the bottom half before 5 straight batters reached for PVI. And then the inning ended on 2 strikeouts in a row from Worthing. He has 3 of them in total today, but now working with traffic in the second. I think the secret was foiled a little bit there as Shear showed bunt prior to the pickoff move. Infield takes notice and moves in a second pickoff move to first. An absolutely beautiful day for baseball today. It was a little hot when I got out of the house, but I've readjusted. Pickoff move number 3. It's a good thing we're not under Major League Baseball rules here today. Could throw over there as much as he wants to. And good reason to. The runner goes. Throw down to second is wide. It's going to bounce off the second baseman's glove and go into center field. And maybe there's a good reason why he tried picking off 3 times, because guess what? Runner went, and he stole. Martine gets to second now. And Shear working with a 1-1 count here with 1 away. 4-0 Paul VI. Curveball misses down and in. Good break on it, but just couldn't get that to catch the zone. It's 2-1. PVI's dugout having some fun. In a game like this where a couple more runs would put the game not away, but solidly in their hands. Especially if they have an offensive barrage where they did in the first, where it's just hit after hit after hit. Time called. I like dugouts like that, though. They like to have fun. They're not hurting anybody. They're just doing their thing. They're not taunting. They're just, doing their own little thing. 3-1 is outside. That's a free pass to Shear. Second walk allowed by Worthing. We did see somebody go back to try and warm up in the Seneca pen in between innings. And that was Mason Craig, who was warming up earlier, kind of in an obstructed view behind the left field corner. As here is DeJalianardo. Strike called. 0-1. Worthing now dealing with ducks on the pond here.
Both teams have had runners on base in both of their at-bats. Paul VI has just been able to capitalize.
Sliding play in center field. Second base calls him out. Second base umpire calls him out. That's going to be a double play. DM Phillips disagrees with the call, saying that the ball was down. And I think he's going to contest this here. The double play will end the inning. The umpire's walking away. They will call that a catch. Inning over. So after PVI scored 4 in the first, they come up empty-handed in the second inning as an 8-6 double play ends the threat. Go to the top half of the third here on Hopkins Road, 4-0 Eagles over the Golden Eagles. Top of the third, this broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students pass their New Jersey State driving test with Harper Driving School. You can check your opponent, you can make an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Tittle Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. David, a bit of a controversial end to the second inning for PVI, but big opportunity for Seneca to turn it around after leaving the bases loaded.
Yeah, going into the bottom of the second, you're down 4. Momentum is all with Paul VI, but then you get that double play, you get out of the jam. Now you can go hit. You got your 2-3-4 up. You got to score in this inning.
Absolutely. An 8-6 double play retired the side. Again, PVI disagreed with the call as the 1-0 trailed inside to Worthing. This time catches the zone 1-1.
That slider, it looks like a slider from our vantage point for Rogers, is on today. It's coming off the front hip and sliding to the outside.
2-1. Two balls, one strike. There's a ground ball out towards short. A nice little cue shot, bobbled at short. Popped right in and out of the glove of McGravy. And now Argabright, the commit to Ursinus College in Pennsylvania, will grab a bat. Waiting to see on the scoreboard if they called that a hit or an error. I would call it an E6, but this game has definitely been a kind of work in progress with defense on both sides. Game Changer does call it a single. I told you, David, that was a good reason to have Game Changer up to prove me wrong. I don't know if I exactly agree with the decision, but
Either. I'm just saying that's what they
that's what it is. I'm going to make sure my scorecard's right. Rogers from the stretch skips into Andolfi. Seneca's going to have somebody warming up to our right, Ethan Lawrence. Hot shot lookout. That almost took out Greg Sevening near the third base dugout. Oh, wow, that ball went all the way into left center field on the foul ball. Game of pinball out there. Count is now 1-1. So runner on first for Seneca as Worthing, after the single, now 2 for 2. Runner goes. Strike called.
Good jump.
And indeed a very good jump. Gets it down to second. We talk about pitchers helping their own cause. Some do it at the plate, some do it in the field, and others do it on the base paths. And Worthing has done that with 2 hits and now a stolen base to his credit. In fact, now 2 stolen bases on the day. And I agree with you there. Good jump that time. Now he's got a runner in scoring position with nobody out for the big man Argabright in this order. Fouled straight back. Look out. Back over everybody's heads here. One ball, 2 strikes. Time called at the dish. Argabright will be followed by Trasakawa, the shortstop. One ball, 2 strikes. Argabright, stepping off there. Had a high leg kick that time and then decided to call it off. Two strikes, and that one is away. 2-2. Seneca's key to winning this game could very well be plate discipline. I mean, they've had a stretch when they loaded the bases in the second where they hit the ball in play very early in the at-bat. Now that ethos might have to change, and they may have to string out these at-bats longer to get to Rogers. In the dirt, exactly, 3-2. Count was 1-2. Took one just a little bit outside, and then it paid off. Got that one low, and now, you're a little bit closer to being in the driver's seat. It's a 3-2 count. Situation's a little bit better. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitcher, Vaughn Worthing, is on second base. Rogers, the Charleston Southern Division I commit, looks back. And this one is hit well. Left center field off the bat of Argabright. It is gone! Alex Argabright has left the building in the crevice of the ballpark in left center field. And Seneca's lead has been sliced in half. In baseball, in hockey, you light the lamp. Well, Argabright just lit up the scoreboard. Shot to left center, 4-2. Alex Argabright out to left center field, and what do we talk about? Long at-bats paying off. 4-2. And still nobody out here in the third. DM Phillips coming out. Rogers has the ball in hand, and we'll see. They're going to take the ball from Rogers.
I kind of understand his move. I mentioned to you before the game, they play, I think it's 6 games in 6 days.
You got a heavy workload.
You got to save them. Like tomorrow they play Morristown, another division game. Saturday they're in the Pop McKenna tournament. Sunday coaches versus cancer.
You know what? You're right. I think that these guys are doing this as a strategic move because of the heavy workload. They played Bishop Eustis on Monday. Then they've got let's just go from today onward. They've got Seneca today, Morristown tomorrow, Clearview in the Pop McKenna tournament on Saturday, Kingsway on Sunday, Winslow on Monday, and Shawnee on Tuesday. You're absolutely right. 6 games in 6 days, and not to mention, you only get 2 days off before you play Bishop Eustis again on Friday. So, we're looking a little bit ahead into the future, but PVI has a lot on their plate going forward. So, I don't think that is a short leash move by Phillips. I just think that's a hold your pitchers and make sure that everybody's available in their best spot. So we'll take a quick break. The new pitcher for Paul VI is number 26, Mike Finelli. We'll be right back after the break. Ryan Finelli, the new pitcher with nobody out in the top of the third as Seneca gets their mojo back, if you will, with a 2-run home run to left center by Alex Argabright, his 5th in his career and his 2nd of the year. He homered in a 5-4 loss to Cherry Hill East back on April 17th. As now it will be Trazakawa, the shortstop, up high for the new pitcher, Ryan Finelli. And David, as we were talking about just before we went to break and while we were in break, even though this move may be surprising to those looking from the outside in, this is I think a very good move by DM Phillips. 6 games in 6 days, and it's not like you're playing, no names either. You're going to be playing in the Pop McKenna tournament versus Clearview, which has taken a big step up this year. Sunday versus a very good Kingsway team in the Coaches versus Cancer tournament. Not to mention, you've also got Morristown tomorrow. I mean, everybody who PVI is playing is very good. As we said, Morristown, Clearview, Kingsway, Winslow on Monday, and then Shawnee on Tuesday. So out of the 6 games that they're playing in these 6 games, 5 out of the 6 are versus incredibly, well thought out opponents. And 2 of them are non-conference games.
Clearview good this year.
Clearview's taken a huge step forward with Nick Core.
Kingsway has been solid. We saw them in the Ralph Shaw. Shawnee has been pretty solid this year. And a lot of teams that play in the Coaches versus Cancer, they want to win that game. It's a big tournament down there in Margate.
And it's also a lot of pride, with the matchups that they have. They all schedule very good matchups. Like today alone, 3 matchups there. I like what they did at Coaches versus Cancer because it wasn't the same when it was sprawled out throughout like 3 or 4 different locations. There were games at the mainland high school field. There were games at the mainland JV field across the way. And then there were games at Jerome Avenue Field in Margate, which is where I was when I worked with BFA last year for a couple of games, including Highland and Spotswood and Audubon and PVI. There's a strike called. So, yeah, I think without a doubt, I like the fact that they downsized a little bit. They're not playing 15 games a day. They're playing like 5 or 6. And it's a good way for the best of the best to get involved in an excellent location at Margate. That place is a lot more picturesque, and not to bash Mainland or anything, but Mainland, there's a difference between going to a high school down the shore than going to a high school at the shore. Like when Battle of the Beach was at Ocean City, that was amazing. You got to see the boardwalk. You got to see the football field right next to the beach in Ocean City. It was great. But the consensus I heard from a lot of people was that when it was at Egg Harbor Township, it wasn't the same. And I've driven by EHT before. Doesn't feel like you're at the shore until you start seeing water. There's a swing and a miss. Hahn strikes out for the 5th Team K this afternoon. That's the first out of the 3rd, and a long time coming for PVI after 3 straight reached. This now brings up Braden Olson. So yeah, there's a difference between going to an event near the shore and then going to one at the shore. Like Wildwood Baseball, they play just a couple of blocks from the boardwalk. That's a base hit into left field. 3 hits this inning for Seneca. And now one gets hit off of Finelli as Braden Olson adds to the card. And runners on first and second. A tying run is on for Seneca, and if you told me that after the first inning, I don't know if I would have believed you. Because Seneca did not look like they were themselves. Down 4-0, PVI sends 9 men to the plate, and now they are completely rejuvenated here in the 3rd.
I totally agree with you. The first inning, I'm just going to put it quite, Seneca looked dead.
Mm-hmm.
Nine batters come to the plate for Paul 6, 4-0. I'm sitting here thinking,
we'll be out of here in an hour and a half, yeah.
But good teams don't let that kind of stuff get to them. They keep battling, they keep competing, and I think Seneca does a good job of that.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I think that way we see it, a lot of things can change, in regards to who is going to be at the top of the card every year. And this season has been very weird. Like we said, the 2 top, hold on here, foul ball. Count is now 1-1. But the thing that I was stressing was that, when you're talking about the Olympic Conference, you've got 2 teams in the American who are 10-0 and 10-1 respectively. Cherokee played Eastern today. They mercy ruled them 11-1. Well, when you're talking about the best of the best, we've got 12 teams, 13 teams in the Olympic Conference. 5 of them have an over 500 record. I'm sorry, 4 of them have an over 500 record. 1 or 2 of them are at 500, and the rest are below. Lenape's 3-9. That's a little bit weird. PVI 2-5. It's a little bit abnormal this year. Now there's a lot of time to change it around. I could be listening the next time we do an Olympic game, or I could come back in a month to this broadcast when the regular season's over, and I could say, what in the world was I talking about? It could be very different. Cherry Hill West could go on a 10-game winning streak, just like Sterling did in the Colonial. So many things can change. Strikeout number 6, second by Finelli. Gordon is retired, and now Brett Steinauer is the batter. Steinauer reached on an E5 in his first at-bat. This is what I love about covering baseball. As we approach 500 broadcasts, we did 96 baseball games last year across high school, college, and the Collegiate Summer League and the Men's League we work with in the fall. I mean, that's just a little bit crazy, and people ask why I do so much. It's because it's such an unpredictable game. 9 out of 10 times when we're covering a football game, and you can attest to this when you came on in September of this year, a lot of the football games that we did were a little bit predictable. Even if the 2 teams were pretty similar, you could still get a good feel by the end of the first quarter who was going to win the game, or at least who was going to be in position to win the game. And very rarely did that change from week to week. There were some times where we had just flat-out blowouts, teams winning by 30, 40, even 50 points. Basketball was kind of the same way. There were very few matchups. I'm not saying there were no matchups, but the majority of the matchups that we had in high school basketball were ones where the outcome, if not certain, was likely for one team or another. Count is 1-1. Finelli facing the 8-hitter Steinauer. He faces Jake Bauer in the on-deck circle. 2 outs, both by strikeout, but Alex Argabright with a 2-run home run to left center to open the scoring up for the Golden Eagles. One ball, one strike. Time called.
Again.
Yes. Alex Argabright with the 63rd home run on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting history. The 3rd at this field. Estimated distance of 347 feet, powered by Google Analytics. Fly ball into right field by Steinauer. backpedaling and making the catch in right to retire the side will be Will Howell. Damage is done, though, as Alex Argabright cuts into the deficit with a 2-run shot to left center field. Seneca is the one who brings up 7 men to the plate, and PVI will look to rebound in the bottom half of the third. They lead 4-2. Sometimes when we're doing these broadcasts, I have to kind of reach at straws for scenic shots.
No.
There is not a box on the camera. I wish there was. That's funny. I love when we're behind the plate because umpires have that kind of, connection with us, and we know John Gallente decently well. I reached out to him during the offseason in regards to rule changes to make sure that we get it right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. But in the bottom of the third, Seneca 2, PVI 4, 2-run shot to left center by Alex Argabright opened up the scoring for the Golden Eagles. Outside, hits the bricks. As I was saying, I have to kind of grasp for straws at the scenic shots here sometimes because I don't want to just zoom into trees. So we have to make do with the Sprouts Farmers Market with its back turned and the Wells Fargo building in left field. Maybe if the Crystal Lake Diner was still visible from here, then we could, but that's a swing and a miss, 2-2. Although I don't think they've reopened yet since they had a fire a couple weeks ago. So that building just so unlucky. 1-2 inside. McGravy, Ungaro, and Andolfi, 5, 6, and 7. I keep looking at David like he lives around here and he knows what diner I'm talking about.
I got no idea what you're talking
about. I'm speaking a foreign language here. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4 for Worthing. All swinging. And McGravy is retired to bring up Ungaro at a 2-run double in his first at-bat in the first. I really like how Worthing has settled in. The second inning could have been ugly, but that double play, controversial or not, it happened. There's no overturns here. Things happen. You just go off of the results, not off of the happenstance, basically. If that double play doesn't happen, we're probably talking about a very different ball game. We're probably talking about PVI as 6 or 7 runs at this point, but now they've been held to 4, and that opportunity has allowed him to really settle in here in the third. The second inning was pretty solid, had a strikeout. Now he's been really commanding the zone, and now has a 1-1 count versus Ungaro, who took him pretty well in the first. Check swing says yes, 1-2.
I think Worthing has found himself here, and I think Seneca has been looking for that all season long. It's only his third start, but first inning, he's
4 runs, 9 hitters, handful of hits.
He
got him.
Didn't look too good, but now here two outs in the third, and he's looking good.
That's 5 strikeouts for Worthing. Don't think we're going to reach the total that we did yesterday with 22 combined strikeouts between J.P. Stevens and South River at the Trenton Thunder Stadium. I did check for a 7-inning game. It is a DWB record. as there's a strike called. Soham Prajapati for J.P. Stevens struck out 12. Julius Rosado, the Rutgers commit, struck out 10, and he hit a home run in the first inning in that game. Up and away, 1-1. I have to say, I mean, it just seems like Vaughn has turned up the jets. He has been hammering the fastball really at all corners of the zone. It's looked really good. Then that one's outside.
Usually, as you get deeper into a game, velocity drops. It looks like, to me at least, his velocity has kind of gone up or stayed mostly the same.
It stayed stable, if anything. And I would absolutely agree with you that it seems like it's gone up, which is a little bit abnormal. Swing and a miss, 1-2. To Andolfi, who singled in his first at-bat. If the inning continues, Will Howell would be next. Shakes off his man, gets the sign and the pitch. Curveball skips in, goes through the 5-hole of the umpire. That one's going to be ball 4. Sorry about the mics cutting out for a second. I had to switch batteries. Those batteries, man, they are a key part of DWB equipment. People ask us all the time, how do you, probably the most common question I get that doesn't have to do with my play-by-play is how do you get the power source in the outfield or in a place where you don't plug in anywhere, and it's the batteries. People talk about gas generators and stuff like that. Do you know how heavy that is? Do you know how little I can lift at Planet Fitness? I can't do that. I can't lift a gas generator every day. Can't haul it around. Those batteries are like 8 pounds each. They're amazing. Use them for tent camping and, well, no, I don't personally. That's their intended use. Is like, you know, if you're out in the woods, maybe in like Belle Plaine National Park or something, and you need a power source, you just charge those batteries overnight and you plug them in, charge your phone, charge your laptop, whatever. Now, of course, because our broadcast equipment is more power intensive, we go through those quicker. But it's a big part of why we're able to do what we do is just looking for the right equipment. Count is 1-1 from Worthing, outside. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got an Under the Lights matchup in the first round of the Joe Lang Classic from Pittman at Alcyon Park, the picturesque ballpark in Gloucester County, between the Gateway Gators and the Pittman Panthers. 6 o'clock is the first pitch on Friday. That will be our 500th broadcast. The broadcast will start at 5:45 as we will have a short video to show commemorating our 500th. Ooh. Thought maybe batter's interference would have been called, but he does get down to second base, Andolfi.
I think you have to throw the ball for that to be called.
You know what? That's a good point. Because, well, I mean, the thing is he held onto the ball because the batter was in his line. But I think you're right about that part where you have to throw the ball for it to be called. So I think even if he pulled a Pablo Sandoval and, you know, threw the ball just because he could, maybe he would have gotten it. 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count, 2 out. Runner in scoring position with the Holy Cross transfer, Will Howell at the dish. Stepping off is Worthing. He'll regroup here. Howell and then the pitcher, Finelli, who is hitting for Rogers. Strike 3 called, side retired. 3 out of 4 go down on strikes, and the inning is over. Worthing showing a little love, and he gets out of the jam with a runner on second. We go to the top of the 4th here at Haddonfield at PVI High School. 4-2. Top of the fourth here at PVI High School. Leading us off in the top half of the fourth is Jake Bauer, followed by Park and Worthing. It's time for DWB Trivia Time. We brought it back yesterday after a short absence. Today's question is, who is the only player in Major League Baseball history to be a switch hitter with a 300-plus batting average and 300 career home runs or more? Is it A, Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians? Hold on here. There's a pop-up back to the mound on the bunt. Throw to first is in time. So your options for today's question are Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Mickey Mantle, or Chipper Jones. Again, the question was, who is the only player in Major League Baseball history to have, as a switch hitter, a 300-plus career batting average and 300-plus career home runs? Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Mickey Mantle, or Chipper Jones? Answer will be revealed in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Unfortunately, the announcement that is on the bad side of news is that we were unable to get our live voting application working, so we will not be doing our live voting contest for DWB Trivia Time this year. But you are still more than welcome to DM me your message or your answer on Instagram or Twitter, comment it, scream it to the heavens, point at a cloud, do what you got to do. No balls, 2 strikes. To Park upstairs. So Bauer grounded out 1-3 to start the fourth. Park now 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to right. And the count is 1-2. The PVI staff combining for 6 strikeouts so far, and you can make that 7 with a fastball upstairs. There's 2 down for the pitcher Vaughn Worthing, who, well, he's done very well in terms of helping his own cause. 2 for 2, 2 singles, and he set up that Argabright home run in the top half of the second. In the third. Seneca went down rather quickly in the first. Now a ground ball booted by McGravy at short. And E6 will mean that Worthing reaches for the 3rd straight time. And, well, deja vu for Alex Argabright. Homered to left center in the top half of the third, and now 1 inning later has the opportunity to either tie the game or at least cut into PVI's lead a little more. In our book, that is the 2nd error in the field by PVI today. Steinauer reached on 1 in the second. As we said, Seneca went down pretty handily in the first, left the bases loaded in the second, and then scored 2 on 7 batters in the third. And Dolphy fakes a back pick. 1-0. Argabright, 1 for 2. Struck out in the first, homered out to deep left center in the top of the third. Strike called. Two one. Strike 2. 2 outs and a 1-2 count. Worthing again for the 3rd time today reaches. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Worthing, after a look back at first by Finelli, holds the error outside. So count should be full. Could expect Worthing to go here. Gears will be in motion for Seneca. Top half of the fourth. Argabright, the tying run, looking to blast one out again. That time, though, they say he did, and the inning is over. 2 strikeouts for Finelli, and the side is retired. Make that 7 team strikeouts across Rogers and Finelli this afternoon. We go to the bottom half of the fourth. 4-2 PVI. Bottom of the fourth, Alex Argerbright struck out swinging to end the inning. It's time for the reveal of the answer for DWB Trivia Time. Again, today's question is, who is the only player in Major League Baseball history as a switch hitter to have a 300-plus career batting average and 300-plus career home runs? The options are A, Jose Ramirez, B, Francisco Lindor, C, Mickey Mantle, or D, Chipper Jones. The answerer of the day will be our producer, David Cohen, and color commentator, David, what's your guess?
I'm going to go Chipper Jones.
That would be correct. You're 1 for 1 on the season, David. Chipper Jones, the answer to today's Trivia Time question, the only switch hitter in Major League history to have a 300-plus batting average and 300-plus career home runs. I thought Mickey Mantle would have been the answer to that question, to be quite honest with you. When I was doing my research, I was like, first of all, I knew Chipper Jones was the answer, but I'm just like, how is Mickey Mantle not the answer? But the thing is that Chipper Jones had 468 career home runs and a 303 career average. By the way, today is his birthday. Turned 53 today, which was why the Baseball Hall of Fame posted about it on their Twitter, which is where we got our question. Mickey Mantle is oh so close. He has 536 career home runs, but his career batting average was 298. Had some relatively weak seasons at the tail end of his career in the late 60s with the Yankees, which brought his total down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, that one's fouled back.
There's a net there.
I know there's a net, David, all right? I know there's a net. I don't care if there's a net or not. You're the one that played baseball all through high school. I didn't do that. Worthing's still working through it here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a dribbler back in front of the mound. This will be picked up by Worthing in fair grounds. Kind of a submarine throw to first is in time. And he got the first out. So the pitcher Finelli is retired. Brings us back to the top for Lero. Lero 0 for 1. Hit by pitch and a strikeout to his name today. 4-2 PVI in the bottom half of the fourth. PVI scored 4 runs in the bottom half of the first, and that's all the offense they've been able to muster today. They had 2 runners on, but a double play out to center field ended the second. They then went down with 3 strikeouts with Worthing and 1 walk in the third. Below the knees, 1-0. So yeah, what I wanted to do when I was coming up with the answers for that question, I was going to say, all right, I'm going to put in 2 active players, I'm going to put in 1 really old player, and then I'm going to put in the correct answer. But yeah, we brought back Trivia Time because a lot of people were asking for it back, and it was one of those things that we wanted to bring back, in early April, and then, things happen, you forget to do it, or, you have some times where you don't think of good questions or anything like that, because all of the questions I think of either the day before or the day of the game, or I get them from certain sources like Major League Baseball, Baseball Hall of Fame, which is where I got ours today. Completely forgot that was why they posted the question, was because it's Chipper Jones' birthday. Bit of a funky hit, gets on top of it and fouls it in the opposite direction. And the count is very quickly full. It's a blink and you'll miss it at bat. Just a back and forth jockey here between Lero and Worthing in his 4th inning of work. Fouled back to the top of the net. Oh, look out. That almost hit Lero. Count is still full here. Nobody on, 1 out. Worthing with the payoff. Dribbles it the other way off the end of the bat. Picked up. Throw to first from Trekasawa is in time. Barely held on to the bag in time. And that's the 2nd out. Here's Martin. Strike called. 0-1 to Martine. He's reached base twice today in 2 plate appearances, a walk and a hit by pitch to his credit. Shear would be next if the inning continues. PVI up by 2. Strike called in the outside corner. Little conversation there. The count is very quickly 0-2. Worthing shakes off his catcher, gets the sign, and the pitch. Fouled back. I like how Seneca's doing it the old-style way. Of course, David, you have a little bit of extra information on this, but we were at Haddon Township in Gloucester yesterday in the morning for an 11 o'clock game, and Haddon Township was calling their pitches from the dugout. There was no signs between the pitcher and the catcher. It was just you heard like 3-3-0, 5-4-2, that kind of thing. I personally, I'm not going to stand in the way of coaches that do that. I am personally not a fan of it. I like what they're doing here because it shows that whatever he's calling behind the dish, it's working for Worthing. Because sometimes if A.J. Przinsky explained this really well, and I brought it up yesterday too. He said, if the pitcher and catcher aren't directly communicating with each other, then the coaches don't know how the pitcher's doing. He doesn't know that the curveball's breaking more today. Worthing didn't get the call. He disagrees. And it's 3-2. Worthing with 6 strikeouts to his name today. Or excuse me, 5. Now you can make it 6. He got him. Worthing with some eyes and ears down towards the PVI dugout. And a little bit of words exchanged there after the inning. As we are through 4 here at PVI, Seneca down by 2. Top of the 5th inning here at PVI, just off of Hopkins Road. Like we said, an awfully short commute from DWB headquarters today as Trezawa, Hahn, and Olson will be the batters. 4, 5, and 6 for Seneca. If you're just joining us, most of the runs in this ballgame came in the early part as PVI scored 4 in the bottom half of the 1st inning. They brought 9 men to the plate, and on just 2 hits, they scored 4. Seneca got their 2 runs back in the top half of the 3rd after leaving them loaded in the 2nd. A 2-run home run by Alex Argabright, his 2nd of the year, his 5th in his career for the Ursinus commit, ended up getting out to left center field in between the permanent and the temporary fences. 63rd home run of the DWB baseball timeline dating back to 2022. We track every single one. Distance, pitch, inning, who hit it, who didn't hit it, all that. Fouled straight back, 2-2, or 1-2 rather. Trezawa 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk this afternoon. Floated, first base side. Communication in the infield is key, and it's caught by DeGallianardo. 1 away as Trezawa is retired on the pop out to first. Don't forget, tomorrow and Saturday, we've got coverage of the Joe Lang Classic, the tournament that was started in 2006. After Joe Lang Field was named as the Pittman half varsity, half JV field in 2017 for the legendary head coach with 340 wins. There's a ground ball over the middle. That will be stopped by McGravy. Great play. He got him. And that is a good rebound for McGravy there. He's picked up an error in the field, and he had another play that could have gone either way in terms of defensive miscues, so a very good rebound, shifting to his left there and making the play. That's not an easy play, hitting the ball over the middle, especially on this kind of infield. We've seen in infield-outfield warm-ups, in the IO warm-ups, the ball bounced a little unpredictably here. But if you're a home player, I think you know that at this point in the season. That one bounces out of play as a 6-3 ground out for Hahn brings up Braden Olson, who is 1 for 1, walk and a single to his credit today. 0-1. There's another ground ball over the middle. McGravy again. Some very good defense out at shortstop by Keegan McGravy. Makes back-to-back plays. Only one of them was routine, and the side is retired. Seneca goes down in order, and PVI looks for some insurance in the bottom of the 5th, 4-2. Shear leads us off in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 4-2 is the ball game. Worthing still out there as both teams have had some quiet bats since the 3rd. Three, 4, and 5 for PVI. Shear, DeJalianardo, and McGravy. McGravy had some good defensive plays to rebound in the top half. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. You can visit today or 7 days a week, not too far from Paul VI at 226 South White Horse Pike in Audubon. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball misses low, 2-1. As we were talking about before a couple of quick balls interrupted our message, we'll be covering 3 of the 4 games of the Joe Lang tournament on Friday, April 25th, and Saturday, April 26th. That's bulleted out to right center field. This one is deep in the short ballpark. It hits off the base of the wall. Shear will park it at second base. If he gets there, he does not. He is out at second base as Shear, with the short ballpark, keeps him at bay, and he is called out. As heads-up defense there on the relay will set up for an 8-6, I think that was just an 8-6 put-out, unless the ball was cut off.
8-4-6.
8-4-6. Yeah, I was like, whatever I'm saying isn't right. I figured that out. Here's DeGallianardo. Flew out into that double play to end the 2nd. And the first pitch from Worthing skips in. But as we said, we'll be covering 3 of the 4 games in the Joe Lang tournament. This year's participants are, of course, Pittman hosting, Gateway, last year's champion GCIT, and newcomer Cinnaminson. Pennsauken and Glassboro were in the tournament last year. They have been swapped out this year. I think Gateway might have been in it, and then Pennsauken was the one that was out. But got a 1-1 count here. The only game that we will not be covering is the consolation game. Here's the 1-1. Check. Appeal says yes. 1-2. The Friday night game, our 500th broadcast, will be 6 o'clock between Gateway and Pittman in the first round. Number 501 will be the first round on Saturday between GCIT and Cinnaminson. The winner of the Friday night game and the winner of the Saturday morning game play at 2 o'clock in the final. Outside. 2-2. So as we said, GCIT plays Cinnaminson at 11 a.m. 1:30, 2 o'clock will be the championship. The only game that we won't be covering is the consolation game, which will be at the Joe Lang JV field down next to the high school. DeGallianardo goes down on strikes, and quickly 2 down for McGravy. Right in the crevice of PVI, Paul VI High School. Pass by it almost every day right around this time of year, and such an interesting complex. They've got the football turf behind us. We've been here for the WJYFL championships last year. I've been here as a fan for basketball, and I've been here as a broadcaster for football, but not PVI football, if that makes sense. And of course, we've been here for baseball. A lot of history at PVI. Of course, right in front of us, in front of the table, the plaque dedicating Andrew Bailey. The class of 2002 was later drafted by the Oakland Athletics and won 2009 American League Rookie of the Year. He was born in Haddon Heights, went to PVI, again graduated 2002, spent 4 years of college, and then went to the A's and won the Rookie of the Year in 2009. The free pass to McGravy sends out Coach Sevening. PVI's dugout just got something, not an official warning, but maybe a reprimand, if you will. First base umpire still looking at the PVI. I'm not sure what was said or what wasn't said. But Worthing is going to move out of the game. He's going to take a position in the field, and also coming out of the game is the catcher. I've seen pitching changes, a dime a dozen, but I haven't really seen a pitcher and catcher change in the same breath. So it looks like coming into the game will be number 16, Gittinger. That's either 16 or 18.
18.
That will be Myers. And then the new pitcher will be number 8, Lawrence. So we'll take a quick break as we've got a interesting 2-for-2 swap here. Lawrence comes in with a runner on and 2 out. We'll be right back. Ethan Lawrence is the new pitcher for Seneca. He has 4 innings this year, all scoreless, and 3 appearances versus Northern Burlington, Winslow, and Cinnaminson, as his first batter will be Ungaro. There have been a litany of defensive changes made. We're going to go over them. David, if I say something wrong or if I miss one, please stop me. But as we said, there was a pitcher and catcher change. Coming in for the pitcher is Ethan Lawrence. The pitcher, Vaughn Worthing, moved from the pitcher spot to second base. The new catcher in the game is going to be Myers, number 18. That specifically is Reed Myers, the sophomore. Now, Robbie Plunkett was the catcher originally. He's coming out of the game and does not seem to be reappearing in the field. Moving from second to short is, Lester Hahn. And then moving from short to right field is Trazakawa. And then the final change, moving from right to left, is Brett Steinauer. The left fielder, Gordon, specifically Bryce Gordon, is coming out of the game. So there was only 1 or 2 position changes because Plunkett comes out in favor of the catcher Myers. But everything else is just, a headache. There's a fly ball center field straight away, and it's caught. 1 batter is all it takes for Seneca to get out of it. The final for Vaughn Worthing is 4 2/3. He strikes out 5. And we go to the top of the 6th here in Haddonfield. PVI 4, Seneca 2. Well, we got our answer right away. Reed Myers is the batter. He is hitting for the DH. Left fielder, excuse me. So Myers hitting for Gordon in the 7th spot. Remember, Gordon was the only player that was actually removed from the game. So it looks like Olson, the DH, will stay. Just, again, baseball scorekeeping is probably the biggest headache that there is in terms of sports. There's a ground ball out to short, picked up by McGravy. Throw is in time. He got him. 6-3. McGravy taking the big step on defense, and Myers is retired. Here's Brett Steinauer. This broadcast is brought to you by Rowan College of South Jersey, Gloucester, the Roadrunners. National championship contenders and national championship winners in the fall, winter, and spring. No matter where you are, there's a good chance they'll be contenders. That's a light pole shot. That's got to count for something. Hit the light pole, hit the dugout. That's got to be some sort of good omen. I think that's how you get multi-ball in pinball. Here's the 0-1. Line. That one is cracked out to right center field. That ball will hop high off the right center wall. He's going to leg it out. The throw down to second is in time. He got him. Just like Nick Shear did in the bottom half, Seneca bites off more than they could chew, and he's retired at second. So the short porch all around bites again as Steinhauer retired. It's credited as a single, but Steinhauer retired, and it will bring up Jake Bauer. Strike called, 0-1. Swing and a miss to Jake Bauer, 0-2. I'm gonna need a hacksaw. It's 0-2. From the right-hander, Finelli, down. Big props to Finelli here. First appearance of the season. Coming in for Tyler Rogers after just 2 innings. The 2-run home run was the last batter that he had as the side is retired. Another strikeout for Finelli, and we are cruising here at PVI. Bottom of the 6th, PVI looking for their last swings of the day, 4-2. Here from PVI, it's 4-2. All of the runs in this ball game came in either the first or the third inning. Seneca gave up 4 runs in the bottom half of the first on 9 batters. They got 2 of them back on a long ball by Alex Argabright. His 5th home run of his career, his 2nd of the season. As Seneca will send a right-hander to the pen with Ethan Lawrence in for his first full inning of relief. That ball's hit well out to left center field. This ball's got a chance in the gap. It is. Oh, it's gone. They call it a home run. It landed on the left of the yellow pole in left center field. And on the first pitch, PVI extends their lead off the bat of Alessio Andolfi. It's 5-2. There you go. That was a close one, too. It just landed to the left. So where that temporary fence is in left center field, you can see where the temporary fence begins. There's a big yellow line, but the permanent fence continues for a couple more feet, a good 20 or 30 more feet, as that one's outside. And I'm sure that's something that they go over religiously, no pun intended, in ground rules, is, you know, listen, left a yellow line, home run, if you see it hit that fence, it's gone. That one's laced out to left. That's going to get over the head, and it's a base hit. Howell picks up a single, and now Finelli will bat. As Andolfi, the backstop, homered to left. Throw to first by Myers. That's going to get down the line. PVI will hold up. So here's Finelli. 0 for 1. 2 home runs in this game. David, you can disagree with me if you want, but it just feels like there's been a lot of home runs this year. The bats are heavy this year.
100%.
I mean, for crying out loud, I know Julius Rosado of South River hit 14 last year, but he's had 3. Nick Watson of Pittman has had 4. Tyler Wiltsey of Audubon has had 2 or 3. Argabright, that was his 2nd of the year. I don't know if it's just the warmer weather or maybe it's just the players getting better. In 2019 for Major League Baseball, it was an issue of those juiced baseballs that everybody took full advantage of. But in this, there's really no excuse. Sometimes it's just the right things align for an offense-heavy season. And I like it. That's ball 4. Finelli walks, and with nobody out, we've got 2 runners on. A home run, a single, and a free pass. Brings us to the top of the order for Lero. So Lero, the left-hander, facing Lawrence. And maybe Seneca had good foreshadowing, bring their right-hander, Mason Craig, to the bullpen. First baseman moves in, maybe expecting a pull side bunt. Misses outside, 1-0. Lero 0 for 2. A hit by pitch to his name in his first plate appearance, but a strikeout and a ground out. Time called. One-0 to Lero, inside. 2 balls, no strikes. On Sunday, April 27th, weather permitting, we'll be at the Trenton Thunder Ballpark for our last of 3 games with Trenton. That ball is hit well out to center field. Will the short porch contain it? It is off the wall. Stays in the ballpark. Stop sign at third. It's a base hit to load the bases for Ryan Lero. As Phillips prevents the run from scoring with the stop sign, but 4 straight runners have reached on 3 hits, and now 7ing will come out. We'll see if that's the end of the day for Ethan Lawrence, and indeed he will take the baseball from him. So the front runner should be Mason Craig. Looks like he will be the one to come in here in the bottom half of the 6th with nobody out. 4 straight have reached for PVI, led off by a home run by Alessio and Dolphy. We'll be right back. 5-2, Eagles. So some more defensive musical chairs for Seneca. The catcher, Robbie Plunkett, re-enters, and the pitcher is Bryce Gordon. This is his first varsity appearance on the hill. Does not have any prior stats. Is a .211 hitter at the plate, but that is a little bit irrelevant when you're talking about stats on the mound. So with Plunkett re-entering, he takes out Reed Myers. But with the bases loaded and nobody out, a run already across for PVI, the momentum is in their court, and time immediately called by Cole Martine. Martine 0 for 1, a walk and a hit by pitch, in addition to a strikeout. And Dolphy led off the inning with a home run. Howell singled, and Finelli walked. And then Lero had a base hit to be the last batter. And before we can throw a pitch, we've got a quick pitcher and catcher referral here. PVI with a win would improve to 3-5 as they go on to a treacherous stretch of 6 games in 6 days. They will not have an off day until Wednesday of next week. Upstairs. As we mentioned prior in the broadcast, they travel tomorrow to Morristown for an Olympic Conference matchup. Then they go to West Deptford for the Pop McKenna tournament versus Clearview at 10 a.m. on Saturday. And then they go down to Margate on Sunday for Kingsway. So not only are they traveling, they're traveling, I mean, West Deptford's not too far, but Margate is. It's a good hour drive down to Atlantic County. Fouled back, Martine just behind on it. It's 2-1. Then they've got at Winslow and at Shawnee. And even though PVI is the listed home team for the Clearview and Kingsway games, all of those games are at neutral sites. So you've got 3 Olympic road games and then another one on Friday the 2nd. The next time that PVI will take the field on their home field here at PVI, May 5th versus Camden Catholic. Ground ball out to short. They're going to throw to the plate. He got tripped up at the plate. He is out there. Howell wants interference called. And that will be a fielder's choice, and good sportsmanship there from Shear, making sure the catcher Plunkett's okay after a collision there. So Plunkett appears to be okay. Shear bats now with the bases loaded. That will be scored as a 6-2 fielder's choice, now with 1 away. Lero to second. Oh, that one hit him in the helmet, no less. Run does score, and it's 6-2. Handful of players getting banged up here in the 6th. So Shear will go down to first. Scoring is now Finelli. It's the 3rd run of the inning for PVI. Excuse me, 2nd, sorry. Got my numbers crossed a little bit. Howell was was out at the plate. So Finelli is indeed the 2nd run after Andolfi's homer. So they'll regroup. Finelli scores. Lero to 3rd, Martine to 2nd, and Shear takes advantage of the 2nd hit by pitch of the day. That one's over our heads. Oh and 1. Seneca for their road ahead. They play another tournament on Saturday in the Papa Bear tournament. Here we go. Runners coming to the plate at the short backstop. They're going to flip to the plate. He is out. The runner did not slide into home. And a great timed flip from Plunkett to the pitcher Gordon is the 2nd out. As this has been a weird inning nonetheless, and now both runners advance. Martine to 3rd. And Shear to 2nd base. So DeGalli and Erdo now with a 1-1 count. That one's high, 2-1. Seneca is back at home on Monday versus Cherry Hill West. They visit on the road at Cherokee on the April 30th on Wednesday, and then back at home to finish out the week versus Morristown on May 2nd. Strike call 2-2. Seneca, after giving up 2 runs here potentially more if PVI puts the barrel to the ball. They'll face 1, 2, and 3, Park, Worthing, and Argabright in the top of the 7th. Gordon, 2-2, up and in. Had some good run on that pitch, but just couldn't get it to land. 3-2. Don't forget at the end of the ball game to stay tuned for our Dan Wilkins Broadcasting postgame interview presented by Dog Pro Wrestling, DAWG. Fouled straight back. Look out. Almost hit Plunkett and the umpire behind the dish. The count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. First base unoccupied. Doesn't matter. Ripped left field. Going back. It is caught in left field at the short porch. Good play to bring that ball down to end the inning as PVI leaves 2 runners on. As going to the top half of the 7th, a good play out there to end the inning by Brett Steinauer. We go to the top of the 7th, 6-2 Eagles. Christian Williams, the right-hander, looks to finish the job for Paul VI here in this Olympic National matchup, which has been pretty good so far. PVI added on 2 insurance runs in the bottom half of the 6th inning, thanks to a leadoff home run by Alicio Andolfi, and then a thunderous hit by pitch brought home the 2nd run. Current score 6-2. Williams had a 3.94 ERA as a sophomore. This year, his luck has not been the same in 4 1/3, a 9.69 ERA. Only allowed 12 earned runs last year. He's up to 6 in just 2 appearances. Went 3 innings versus Cherry Hill West and 1 1/3 in a 12-2 loss to Cherokee back on the 19th, last Saturday, inside. Park is the leadoff man. He's 0 for 3, 2 flyouts and a strikeout. As we said, Seneca's 2 runs in this game. Their entire offense has come on 1 swing. 2-run home run to left by Alex Argabright in the 3rd. Inside. Williams, as we said, just like every other pitcher in this ball game, has appeared in only Olympic matchups. There's a strike, but I definitely think this decision, if not puzzling, is a little bit what's it called? It's interesting, is the neutral way I'll put it, because I mean, you're playing 6 games in 6 days. Maybe Finelli was tired and you didn't have a choice, but there's a strike called. It's 2-2. I think if Finelli had the energy for it or had the pitch count going for him, I think they would have brought him out for the 7th. But I don't think that this is, I want to get more guys in, because when you're playing this many games, you want to have as least amount of pitchers possible. You don't want to force your arm. Strike 3. Park down on strikes. And there's one away. Park strikes out for the 2nd time tonight, and it's Worthing. Worthing, when he was the pitcher, went 4 2/3, but helped his own cause plenty with 2 singles and an error. 2 for 3 in the ball game for Worthing, and the pitch. Fouls it straight back on the first pitch. Worthing, the junior, misses or takes low. Worthing, a career .283 hitter. This year, 6 for 28, 1 RBI, had 11 RBIs last year, and a career .293 slugger with 1 career extra base hit. Popped up, just got behind it, down the first base line. This one could be in play, and it's foul. With our view obstructed, unable to see where that ball was or where it was landed. That is down. 2-2 to Worthing. One, two. Another pop-up, this time for sure out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 1 away. Williams got him looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Williams, and Argabright could be the last swing for Seneca. Even across 3 different right-handers, PVI has had a lot of Ks on the hill. That was their 10th total between Rogers, the starter, Finelli, the right-handed reliever, and then their, I guess you could say, closer. I mean, it's a 4-run game, so it's not a safe situation, but it's 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes to Argabright. 2-run home run in the 3rd, also has 2 strikeouts. That one's going to hit him in the back. And don't look now, but the tying run is going to bat, and it will be the shortstop, Trezawa. Excuse me, not tying run, excuse me. Ignore me. This is why I have you here, David, to keep me in check. Because I'm thinking the score is 4-2 or something. I think the 6th inning kind of got erased from my memory. Listen, you'd think I'd be... Oh, hold on. That one's going to go through the legs of Williams on the throwback. First pitch was a strike called. I tell people, this is my 499th broadcast here with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. I still don't get it right. This could be broadcast number 999, and I'll still mess something up. Or you could adopt the Savannah Bananas golden at-bat rule. Either way, 6-2 PVI. I'm sure, though, Seneca would like this to be the tying run. However, 2 runs in the 6th made that not so. Fly ball, right center. It is caught, and the ball game is over. Anthony Ungaro brings it down, and in 2 hours and 1 minute, PVI gets runs at the bookends. 4 in the 1st and 2 in the 6th to seal the ball game in the Olympic National Division matchup over Seneca, 6-2. Your player of the game for today's efforts will be Alessio Andolfi. He went 2 for 2 rather, picked up a single and a home run along with a walk, and was pivotal in making sure that the 3 PVI pitchers were settled in their 10 strikeout performance. We'll be right back in just a moment. These folks will shake hands. We will have their players talk to their coaches, and the coaches talk to the players, and then we get to talk to the players. We'll get our post-game interview in just a moment, right after this.
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball to center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor. Literally, they've been here twice, and they're about to score, or on the doorstep of scoring 50 for the second game in a row. Xavier Terry Brown. He is still on his feet. He's being shoved forward into the end zone. But who's got the ball? Look at Jason Solomon. The ball magically appeared in Woodbury's hands, and now they're back at the 50. This one's going back. This one's going to go to the distance. I don't see any flags. Did that just go for 100 yards? I think it did. I do not see any flags as Woodbury. Oh my goodness, Jason Solomon have a day. He is the first man not named Taylor to score. Wow, that was good. Will lead it off for the Senators. Chase Rollins, the player manager for CHP, gets it started with a ball upstairs, and we are underway in game 1. 1-0. That one is hit well out towards left, and it is gone off the top of the goalpost. Shane Adamski with a thunderous start to his playoff series. Second pitch of the game, a solo homer to left, and before I could even write the first name down in my scorecard, it's 1-0.
Hey folks, here at PVI High School, just a quick change. Things are taking a little while over there, so we are not going to do the interview today. We got some stuff we got to get to, so we will be out of here. But final score from tonight, PVI 6, Seneca 2, here in broadcast number 499. Your player of the game that would have been interviewed is Alicio Andolfi. Hit his first career home run to left center field and went 2 for 3 in the win. PVI's pitching staff combined for 10 strikeouts in the win, and in a very weird backstop here, we're right behind the plate. We are almost standing over the plate here at PVI, so it's an interesting field. But the more the merrier, because PVI was really able to get out in front early. They scored 4 runs in the first inning. Seneca's only offense came with 1 swing, a 2-run home run in the third. Then everything died down. Everything was ho-hum until the bottom of the 6th. 2 more runs came across. And even though there were some calls that were controversial today, it certainly was an interesting game nonetheless. That'll be all for us tonight. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Caleb Lane and Carson Rosso, my producer and color commentator for the evening, Seneca alum himself, David Cohen. I'm Dan Wilkins. Broadcast number 500 will be tomorrow night at Alcyon Park. The Gateway Gators and the Pittman Panthers, 6 o'clock first pitch. Have a good one, folks, and enjoy the weekend. It will be a fun one for us here on DWB.